California, I have a rally. I have the front row Joes there. If you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States and added them up, they would not have done near the destruction to our country as Joe Biden and the Biden administration has done. Think of it. I used to say 5, remember? 6 months ago, I'd say 5 worse. I added 10. I could go higher than that. There's nobody that's done destruction to our country. And now we find out he probably doesn't even know he did it, okay? Joe, why did you do it? What did I do? So if you want to save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone you know, and vote. You got to vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day, vote anytime you want, but vote and follow your vote. Make sure that it gets counted. You can do that. Follow that vote, because these people cheat like nobody's ever cheated before. Frankly, they're no good at policy, but they're good at cheating. And if you want to help us ensure election integrity, sign up at protectthevote.com. So in conclusion, from Jacksonville to Miami, from Tampa to Tallahassee, from the beautiful place that I know very well, destined to right here in Doral, we inherit the legacy of generations of American patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to defend our country and our freedom. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the ocean, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up those great, beautiful skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, and from right here in this beautiful state, launched our brave American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the face of the moon. Together, they made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world. But now we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in 50 years, where banks are collapsing and interest rates are skyrocketing. Likewise, we are a nation where energy costs have reached the highest levels in our history. We are no longer energy independent or energy dominant, as we were just a few short years ago. We are a nation that is begging Venezuela and others for oil. Please, please, please help us, Joe Biden says. And yet we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country anywhere in the world. We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will be reducing their oil production while at the same time substantially increasing the price. And we met that threat by announcing that we will no longer be drilling for oil in large areas of Alaska and elsewhere in our precious land. We are a nation that is considered and consumed by the radical left's Green New Deal, yet everyone knows that the Green New scam is fake and will lead only to our destruction. We are a nation whose leaders are demanding all-electric cars, despite the fact that they don't go far, cost too much, and whose batteries are produced in China with materials only available in China, when an unlimited amount of gasoline is available inexpensively in the United States, but not available in China. And now we are a nation that wants to make our revered and very powerful Army tanks, the best in the world, all electric, so that despite the fact that they are also not able to go far, Fewer pollutants will be released into the air as we blast our way through enemy territory in an environmentally friendly way. And they also want to make our great jet fighters with a green stamp of energy savings, though losing 15% efficiency, but allowing us to keep our enemy's atmosphere clean of emissions as we viciously and unceremoniously attack them at levels never seen before. Who are these people? Who are these fools that would do this to us? Who are these people who would ruin our country? We are a nation that ended oil exploration and production in the United States, just as the price of oil reached an all-time high. What other country would do such a stupid thing, a foolish thing, and self-destruct itself just like we've done for 4 years? Can we be energy independent and even energy dominant again? Yes, oh yes, and quickly, says President Trump. Yes, oh yes, and we will do it quickly. We are a nation that surrendered in Afghanistan, leaving dead soldiers, American citizens, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment anywhere in the world. We left it behind. And also abandoning Bagram, one of the biggest military bases anywhere in the world, and only 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. And we are a nation that allowed Russia and Ukraine to fight, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and it will only get worse. It would never have happened with me as your president, and for 4 straight years, it didn't happen. Likewise, the horrifying attack on Israel would have never happened. They wouldn't even have thought of doing such a thing if President Trump was in the Oval Office. Iran was broke under the Trump administration. They didn't have the money to fund Hamas, Hezbollah, and all of the other instruments of terror that they use. But those sanctions were lifted by a corrupt Biden administration. And now Iran is a rich country with $250 billion. Think of that. Iran now has, from nothing, they were broke. They now have $250 billion. $6 billion they also got for hostages, $6 billion. And for electricity to Iraq, they were given $10 billion, all compliments of an incompetent Biden administration. And China with Taiwan is next. We are a nation that allows radical left terrorists to violently attack our cities, leaving behind massive destruction and death, and nothing happens to the criminals that do these terrible things. There is no punishment. But when people who love our country protest on January 6th in Washington, they become hostages, unfairly imprisoned for long periods of time. But fortunately, the Supreme Court has just ruled, and they should be out soon. We are a third world nation that has weaponized its law enforcement against the opposing political party like never seen before in our country. We've got a Federal Bureau of Investigation that won't allow bad election-changing facts to be presented to the public, and which offers $1 million to a writer of fiction about Donald Trump to lie and to say it was fact. Where Hunter Biden's laptop from hell was Russian disinformation, and the FBI knew it wasn't. But 51 intelligence agents said it was, and a Department of Justice that refuses to investigate egregious acts of voting irregularities and fraud. And we have a man who is totally corrupt, totally incompetent, and the worst president in the history of our country, who is cognitively impaired, and is a president who is not legally allowed to stand trial because he is mentally incompetent, but he is allowed to become the President of the United States again. And he is in no condition to lead, and is now in charge of dealing with Russia and China and all of these countries on possible nuclear war. He has no clue what he's doing or where he is. And next will be World War III, because he doesn't know what he's doing. And this will be a war more devastating than any of the other wars. It will be a war like no other because of the weaponry that no one wants to even think about. or ever talk about. We are a nation that no longer has a free and fair press. Fake news is all you get, and they are indeed the enemy of the people. They refuse to discuss the Biden crime family, but enjoy covering the false indictments of Donald J. Trump, who has done nothing wrong except win an election against crooked Hillary Clinton. We are a nation where free speech is no longer allowed and where crime is rampant and out of control like never before. We are a nation that is allowing Iran to build a massive nuclear weapon and China to use the trillions and trillions of dollars it has taken from us to build a military to rival our own. And less than 4 years ago, we had Iran, China, Russia, North Korea, all in check. They respected us. They were afraid of us. They weren't going to do a thing against us, and everyone knows it. Now Russia and China are holding summits to carve up the rest of the world. And perhaps most importantly, we are a nation that is no longer admired, respected, or listened to on the world stage. They just aren't. We are a nation, in fact, that in many ways has become a joke. And we are a nation that is hostile to liberty, freedom, faith, and even to God. We are a nation whose economy is collapsing into a cesspool of ruin, and whose supply chain is broken, whose stores are not stocked, whose deliveries are not coming, and whose educational system is ranked at the very bottom of every single list. We are a nation that just sold a once great company, United States Steel, to Japan. We are a nation whose stock market's continued success is continued and contingent on MAGA winning the next election. If MAGA doesn't win the next election, you will have a 1929 type depression. We are a nation where large packs of sadistic criminals and thieves are allowed to go into stores and openly rob them, beat up and kill their workers and customers, and leave with armloads of goods, but with no retribution, where the authority of our great police has been taken, where their families and pensions have been threatened, and their lives would be destroyed for the mere mention of the words law enforcement. We are a nation where fentanyl and all other forms of illegal drugs are easier to get than groceries to feed our beautiful families and babies. We have become a drug-infested, crime-ridden nation which is incapable of solving even the simplest of problems. We will institute the powerful death penalty for drug dealers, where each dealer is responsible for the death during their lives of 500 people or more. Mothers will never again be forced to watch their children overdosing and hospitally. And we will never allow mothers to watch their child hopelessly dying in their arms, screaming, "What can I do? What can I do? Help me, God, what can I do?" We are a nation whose once revered airports are a dirty, crowded mess. You sit and wait for hours and then are notified that the plane won't leave, that they have no idea when they will, where ticket prices have tripled. They don't have the pilots to fly the planes. They don't see qualified air traffic controllers, and they just don't know what the hell they are doing. We are a nation that screens its citizens viciously at all ports, but if you are an illegal alien, you are allowed to flow through by the millions and millions right over our southern border. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, lost its willpower, and lost its strength. We are a nation that has lost its way. But we are not going to allow this horror to continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. With the right leadership, every disaster Joe Biden has created can be fixed, and quickly. Every problem can be solved, and every wrong can be rectified, and it will be rectified very quickly. By this time next year, America's borders will be strong, sealed, and secure. Inflation will be in full retreat. Our economy will be at a level that will equal and even surpass what it was 4 years ago. Optimism will be surging. The American dream will be thriving again for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. Law and justice will reign all throughout our land. Freedom will be restored. The flame of liberty will be burning bright. Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country, will be a fading memory of the past, and our great silent majority, including the once forgotten men and women of our country, will be the one shaping America's magnificent future when I am the 47th President of the United States. Because we are all Americans, and together we will show November 5th to be the most important day in the history of America. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America free again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Florida. Thank you very much. Thank you, Miami. God bless everyone. God bless you all. Thank you.